In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to eat for optimal mental and physical performance. So if you're a business owner and you want to improve your focus, you want to be better and have more energy when you talk to clients, or you generally just want to be a better father and husband, this is for you. In the end, I'm going to show you my golden rule to follow that will make everything easier for you so you can just go out and implement it into your life. By the way, my name is Dr. Rafael Al-Najaar and I'm a medical doctor, and I work with hundreds of business owners and other busy professionals to optimize and take their life to the next level in terms of their health. So let's jump straight into it. Let's talk about what we will be discussing today. So first, we're going to talk about the basics of nutrition. Then we're going to talk about how food impacts your hormones. And then I'm going to show you the framework that I use. And then in the end, I'm going to give you my exact golden rule, as I said before, that I implement, that I use in my own life, and that I implement into the men's life that I work with. So let us start with the basics. If we look at the basics, so we have, in terms of nutrition, what we call macronutrients, micronutrients. So macronutrients, we generally have three. We have carbohydrates, protein, and fat. And they have different caloric output. And calories, as you know, is the way we measure energy in food. So with protein, we have 4 calories per gram of protein. With carbs, we have also 4 calories per gram. And with fat, we have 9 calories per gram. So now you might say, okay, so protein and carbs are equal. Well, they're equal in terms of the caloric output, but not in any other way, actually. If we look at protein first, protein is the building blocks of our muscle mass. Our body can also use protein as an energy source. And what's special about protein is that we have so-called essential amino acids. So protein is made up of amino acids, and when they're essential, it means that we cannot produce it ourselves. Our body cannot synthesize it itself. We have to get it from food, from outside. So that's something that's very unique for protein. With carbs, again, it has 4 calories per gram. And carbohydrates are used as an energy source. Now, our brain runs on glucose, which is one form of a carb, but it's not carbohydrates that you require from your diet. Your body can synthesize the carbs themselves to run the brain. Your brain can also run on something called ketones, but that's something for another day. And then we have fat. Fat is also an energy source, and it's a great energy source. And I'm going to tell you exactly why when we talk about the hormonal impact. But before we get into the hormonal impact, I want to mention that we also have essential fatty acids. Again, this means that you have to get these from your food. Your body cannot create it itself. So you need these essential fatty acids and essential amino acids to actually live. Good. Now let's talk about the hormonal impact. What we want in general is having as little impact on this main hormone called insulin, you might have heard of it, as possible. So what insulin does, it helps carbs go into the cells to be used as energy. I'll show this for you. So when we have blood sugar, when we eat, we'll have someone, if they eat the wrong foods, they're going to have a blood sugar spike, and then they're going to go below baseline and then back to baseline again, like you just saw it, right? This is the blood sugar. This is BS. Then we have insulin. So when we have the blood sugar spike, accordingly we'll have the insulin spike afterwards. And this is what we want to avoid. We don't want our blood sugar to look like this or have an insulin spike like this. We want a blood sugar that looks more like this, like a small bump, not this huge spike. Okay? So if we start off with carbs, carbs will give you this kind of blood sugar spike because you need insulin to take those carbohydrates, that sugar, out of bloodstream and into the cells. So the more carbs you eat, the higher blood sugar spike will you get. With protein, you don't get a blood sugar spike. You only get a blood sugar spike with protein when you have something like whey protein powder. That can give you a blood sugar spike, but normal protein will not give you a blood sugar spike. And fat is the exact same thing. There's also another different thing in terms of how much of the caloric output that your body can actually use. So when we eat carbs, our body can break down 90% of the carbs and use that as an energy source. With fat, it's exactly the same thing. It's up to 90% and use that as an energy source. With protein, it's different. With protein, your body can only use 70 to 80% of the caloric output, the energy in the protein, as an energy source for yourself. This basically means that you're actually increasing your metabolism a little bit when you eat protein. So that's just something to have in the back of your mind. Good. So now we've talked about how we have different macros. We've talked about how they impact our hormones, mainly the insulin. Now we're going to talk about micronutrients. So micronutrients are vitamins and minerals that your body need to do the cellular processes to keep you alive, essentially. These are magnesium, zinc, this is vitamin B, vitamin D. Those are very, very important for all of your bodily functions. It helps you keep your immune system in order, keep you healthy, helps with the muscles, helps with your heart. Essentially, these are vital for you to survive, especially the vitamin D and the vitamin B. This is one thing you don't get when you're on a vegan diet, for example. This is why you see vegans supplement with 50 pills a day, because if they wouldn't get these vitamins and minerals from their food, because they're not eating real foods. So they have to supplement it. And if they don't supplement the iron, the vitamin Bs, the Ds, they end up not being able to live anymore, essentially, right? Because they die of lacking the minerals. So it's very important that you get your micronutrients as well, and you can get them from your food. You can also supplement them. Good, so now we've covered the basics of nutrition. We've talked about the macronutrients, the carbs, fats, and proteins, how they impact your insulin levels, your hormones, how they impact your blood sugar levels, how much energy you can get out of them, and we've talked about the importance of micronutrients. Now we're going to go to the next level and talk about the framework. And here it says animal-based, prioritize peas, and in the end, I'm going to show you who can or who should eat more carbs. Because as you might have understood from me talking about the blood sugar spikes that you want to avoid, most people should actually avoid carbs, but I'll keep that for later. So the best framework that I've found, the easiest framework that I've found works, is eating an animal-based diet. An animal-based means that you're eating red meat, fish, eggs. And if you can tolerate it, you can eat or drink dairy as well. That is the best framework to go after when you're looking for food, whether you're at home, whether you're out, wherever you are. That is one of the best ways to do it. Look for animal-based foods. These are natural foods and they contain the essential amino acids and the essential fatty acids, which are very important for you to not only survive, but to thrive. And I'm not talking about you getting protein and fat from processed foods. They need to be from animal, natural-based foods. Because when you get them from processed foods, when you get the fatty acids from processed foods, not only are you increasing the inflammation just due to the processed foods, but also when you do other harmful stuff like smoking, like going out and staying in the sun for too long without a protective layer, there is an increase in oxidative stress inside of your body, and this is something you want to avoid. And you avoid that by avoiding the processed foods and other harmful stuff. When you do harmful stuff, it's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's 1 + 1 = 3. And it's the same thing with all the good stuff. So all these things, they compound. Whether you're doing the right things or the wrong things, they're going to compound anyways. So that's very important. Going animal-based, eating animal-based foods. Like I said before, if you're a vegan, you have to supplement a lot of things. And this is not how we've evolved as a human species. We didn't evolve eating salad. We evolved eating meat. This is how our brain grew bigger. So Then it says prioritize peas. What does that mean? That means prioritize protein. Protein is probably the most important macronutrient out there. Like we said before, it helps you build muscle, it helps you retain muscle. So if you're injured, if you cannot work out, or for example, I've seen a lot of patients in the hospital, they have to eat more protein or else they're gonna lose their muscle mass. And if you're old, you lose your muscle mass, it's very hard to build that up again. So protein is very important to build muscle, to keep muscle mass if you're not working out, and it can also be used as an energy source. It's an expensive energy source for the body, but it can be used as an energy source. So how much should you get? What I personally do is I eat 2 grams per kilo of body weight. For my Americans out there, that is 0.7 to 0.1 grams per pound of body weight, because I eat 1.5 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight. This helps me stay satiated, and when I get my protein from animal-based foods, I'm also getting the fats, the essential fatty acids that are so important for my hormonal health. Now, hormonal health is something that we'll talk about in another video, but remember that getting fat from real sources is essential for your hormonal health. So prioritize that. And you should, in general, just avoid carbohydrates. Carbs are not bad in and of themselves, right? But you should avoid the breads, the pastas, the rice, the potatoes. You should avoid those in general because most people are metabolically unhealthy. They're overweight, they're too fat, right? And one of the best ways to shed that weight, to lose that weight, is by restricting how many carbohydrates you're eating. Because the more carbs you eat, the hungrier you will be. Because you get, like we showed you before, you get these spikes. It impacts your hormonal system. It also impacts leptin and ghrelin, which is other hormones that controls your satiety. You want to be leptin sensitive, not leptin resistant. So it's truly, truly important to avoid carbs if you don't need them. And most people in this day and age do not need carbs. They should cut them out to improve their metabolic health. But some people can use carbs and will actually improve their performance if they add carbs to their diet. Now, if this is you, you probably already know it, because in general, this is for athletes. Athletes and men who work out a lot, they can eat carbs. And the best time to eat carbs is doing it just before, during, or just after a workout or some kind of physical performance. It will help you do the physical performance and will also help you restitute afterwards. So those people, also because they probably have a better muscle mass. They have more muscle mass. They have better insulin sensitivity. So they won't get the blood sugar spikes because they have a better muscle mass. They have more muscle mass, which makes them essentially more insulin sensitive. So they won't get these spikes. They'll get smaller bumps. So if I eat carbs, for example, because I'm pretty healthy, pretty metabolically healthy, I get this spike or this bump and not this one because I am insulin sensitive. So for most people, they should just avoid carbs in general because they're carrying around too much fat. And when you avoid carbs in general, you also get into ketosis, dietary ketosis, nutritional ketosis, which helps your body burn more fat. So those are the people who can eat carbs and who will benefit from eating carbs. So if you're an athlete, if you're a semi-pro athlete, and you're pretty lean, you have good metabolic health, you're not carrying around too much fat around your belly, carbs can be helpful to reach your goal, whatever that goal is. Now, we've talked about the framework. Now let me share with you the golden rule that I always follow when I look at my plate and in terms of how I eat and how much I eat. The golden rule is an acronym. The acronym is HPMFLC, and it stands for high protein, moderate fat, and low carb. And following this golden rule, will be perfect for probably 80% of everyone watching this video. Because most people are actually carrying too much fat. So again, this encompasses everything that we've talked about. We want it to be animal-based, We want to get our protein so we can build muscle, retain muscle, and stay insulin sensitive. We want a good amount of fat from these same animal-based sources for our hormonal health. And we want to increase, again, our insulin sensitivity and lose that visceral fat, that fat around the organs that is very bad for your health. We lose that by going low carb. So this is the golden rule that I follow every single day. Obviously, there are times where you just eat whatever you want, but this is the golden rule to follow for improved mental and physical performance. So now you know what to do and how to set up your own diet to do this for yourself. If you're interested and you're invested in your own health, you have some money, you can click the link in the description down below and book a call with me, and I'll see if I can create something for you and if it makes sense for us to work together. But that's only if you're an established business guy who already knows that you want to go to the next level in terms of your health. You can also check out my free group. It's also in the description down below. It's a free group where I share all of my knowledge and I do weekly masterclasses to give you a more hands-on approach in terms of how to handle your health, to really be able to go to the next level, optimize, increase your mental performance, your physical performance, and what I like to say, become more superhuman. That was it for this time. If you like this video, please like it, give it a thumbs up, ring the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel to always get the newest and best information for busy guys the fastest. I'll see you next time.